The stage is set. Governor, Senator, thank you for joining us. Let's get started.
Tim Walz argued that there are ways to remedy mass shootings and other gun violence without threatening Second Amendment rights.
There are reasonable things that we can do to make a difference. It's not infringing on your Second Amendment. And the idea to have some of these weapons out there, it just doesn't make any sense.
He said Kamala Harris, as an attorney general, worked on this issue. However, as San Francisco's district attorney before that, Harris said authorities could walk into legal gun owners' homes to inspect whether they were storing their firearms properly. Still, Walz said at the debate that no one is taking anyone's guns. In 2019, Harris called a mandatory gun buyback program a good idea. She said, now we need to do it the right way. And part of that has to be buy back and give people their value, their financial value.
Vance said during the debate that 320,000 migrant children are missing within the United States.
We have 320,000 children that the Department of Homeland Security has effectively lost. Some of them have been sex trafficked. Some of them hopefully are at homes with their families. Some of them have been used as drug trafficking mules. The real family separation policy in this country is unfortunately Kamala Harris's wide open southern border.
In August, the Inspector General's Office of the Department of Homeland Security announced that 320,000 children are missing within the United States. They can't be located. When a minor crosses the southern border, the northern border for that fact, they're given into the custody of the Office of Refugee Resettlement until they can be placed either with a parent or a sponsor. But the agency doesn't track the location of that child after they're placed. The New York Times was actually the first to break the story of missing migrant children last year. And they reported that while the Department of Health and Human Services does do a wellness check phone call on the sponsor of those minors after they're placed, the agency has been unable to reach thousands of those sponsors.
Tim Walz claimed that Amber Nicole Thurman died because she had to travel outside of her home state of Georgia to get an abortion due to Georgia's abortion ban after 6 weeks.
We are pro-freedoms for women to make their choices, and we're going, and Kamala Harris is making the case, to make options for children more affordable, a $6,000 child tax credit, but we're not going to base that on the backs of making someone like Amber Thurman drive 600 miles to try and get health care.
Senator.
As documented in a ProPublica article, Thurman reportedly suffered a known complication of abortion drugs, where her body failed to expel her dead unborn baby's tissue after the pills ended his or her life. She drove to North Carolina for a D&C procedure. After getting there, the hospital waited 20 hours to operate on her, which was too late to save her life. However, Thurman's travel to North Carolina was not necessary. Georgia law, as well as every other law in the United States limiting abortion, has an exception to save the life of the mother. Additionally, the Georgia law limiting abortion explicitly states that a D&C to remove an unborn child that has already died is not criminalized. Thurman could have legally gotten a D&C in Georgia had she gone to a local hospital rather than traveling to North Carolina.
During the debate, moderator Norah O'Donnell used the devastation of Hurricane Helene to ask both candidates about climate change.
Scientists say climate change makes these hurricanes larger, stronger, and more deadly because of the historic rainfall.
Although climate change theoretically may affect hurricanes, the claim that burning fossil fuels has made hurricanes worse doesn't measure up. In fact, hurricanes should get worse if the climate grows colder, not warmer. Climatologist David Legates joined the Daily Signal podcast in June, and he said if we have colder periods, we will get more hurricane activity.